What defines a standout wrestling heel? Is it merely their ability to incite boos, provoke the ire of the audience, but rather the skill of crafting a persona that thrives on eliciting those emotional reactions and keeps you guessing when they're going to come? And no one does this better in televised pro wrestling currently than Christian Cage. If you know someone better and you're already freaking out watching this video, well, get into the comments below. It's Sportskeeda Wrestling, I'm Kevin. Christian already has his place in the Hall of Fame, but these days he calls himself the Patriarch on AEW television, a character that he has developed within the last year or so, and with it, he has become only even more controversial as an antagonist. But this character has also breathed new life into his tenure in AEW overall, possibly making maybe the final chapter for him in wrestling a very interesting one and a very personal one. Admittedly, Christian always excelled as a villain rather than a babyface, but this latest iteration of it is something that is truly exceptional from what we've seen before. Yet before delving into this, let's uncover how this remarkable evolution unfolded. Believe it or not, it started in WWE. That's right, when Christian returned to pro wrestling. Well, we'll come back to Edge later in this video. Coming back to Christian, it was clear that he was here to stay. He looked great inside the ring, had an excellent physical presence, and after negotiations unfortunately fell through with WWE, Christian made the jump to AEW and was back in the squared circle on primetime television in a role that really motivated him. Tony Khan instantly treated him like a big deal. He went after Kenny Omega for the AEW World title and even defeated him for the Impact World title. Having a victory over Kenny Omega in 2021 was a pretty huge deal. He was the guy. Christian was one of the men to beat him in the middle of the ring, and that is something special. However, he dropped the Impact World Championship to Josh Alexander at Impact's Bound for Glory pay-per-view. After this, Christian began a friendship, a mentorship, if you will, with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, leading them to become AEW World Tag Team Champions. Having them around new, younger talent created a different and fresh dynamic. However, after the team dropped the titles to the Young Bucks, the AEW Road Rager in June of 2022, Cage turned his back on Jungle Boy Jack Perry and attacked him out of frustration. Christian then walked up to Jack Perry's mother, who was seated at ringside, and said, "You raised a piece of..." Right then and there, Christian became a despicable guy on TV. Not only this, but the following week on Dynamite, he came out to a chorus of boos and explained his actions, why he did what he did. Yes, the best villains sometimes justify the things they do, and he claimed he disrespected Jungle Boy's mother by claiming that she wanted him to be Jungle Boy's father. Christian further said that he never wanted to be his father figure because he had a father and his father was dead, mentioning Jungle Boy's deceased father, beloved actor Luke Perry. This became a regular and very controversial and jarring thing to see him do on television, and he would mock his opponent's fathers and gave him an edge in terms of the whole mental mind games of pro wrestling. And it had a lot of people saying maybe they were going too far with letting Christian do this. Not even MJF, who is a guy who knows how to say some really testy things, was going here. And it was definitely something that AEW would do that maybe WWE wouldn't. Christian Cage proved himself to be an effective villain who got these really hearty, loud, visceral reactions. The following week, he came out and said that he was sorry that Jungle Boy's entire family wasn't dead and they would have to watch him end Jungle Boy in the middle of the ring. Damn. He even also manipulated Jungle Boy's former friend Luchasaurus to join him, starting a feud with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. At All Out 2022, Christian defeated Jungle Boy Jack Perry in a mere 20 seconds, but the rivalry had to stop as Christian was dealing with some injuries and had to take some time off. Maybe that's why it was only 20 seconds. In the meantime, Jungle Boy continued feuding with his former friend and Christian's right-hand dinosaur, Luchasaurus, and even defeated the monster at Full Gear in a steel cage match. A real beauty of a match. Go seek it out. This is when Christian came back and decided to stick his nose in Jungle Boy's business again. But this time, Jungle Jack was ready and finally defeated his former mentor at Revolution 2023. And it was at this point in the feud that Christian was there to put Jungle Boy over, and he did just that. A villain creates a hero. Not a bad problem. He did his job, but this is where our story really gets going in a different direction. After closing the book on Jungle Boy, Christian set his sights on the TNT champion Wardlow. This turned out to be the best booking decision you could go with, as he got to show more personality and have more time on the microphone. Talk him into the ring, right? Like Jungle Boy, he talked about Wardlow's deceased father. Yes, he's going to keep this going, and mocked him for this, for not being famous. Week by week, he became more and more unhinged when he had the microphone, and the audience seemed to enjoy this new, truly unpredictable, and very emotional character. The reactions got bigger and bigger. Regardless of those reactions being boos, Christian found a way to make people care about what he said. You didn't not listen when he spoke. And he had his match against Wardlow, and he couldn't defeat him to become the new AEW TNT champion at Double or Nothing. However, he helped Luchasaurus capture the title from Wardlow on Dynamite. But he instantly proclaimed that he was the TNT champion, not his right-hand dinosaur of destruction that actually won the match. Although Luchasaurus was the recognized TNT champion and defended the title every chance he had, Christian carried the belt, wore the belt, and talked about himself like he was the champion. You know, because he's a real despicable villain. This became one of the best things on TV, as people were actually invested in his storyline and wanted to see how far he could take this. As a heel reign really sank to a new low, or a new high, depending on how you view it, he had his own 10-year-old daughter kicked out of the arena during an... Yeah, Father of the Year. Soon after, Christian and Luchasaurus would align themselves with Swerve Strickland to form a new rivalry with Darby Allin, Nick Wayne, and Sting. Oh, talking about Nick Wayne, he was a bright young superstar, and he was someone who unfortunately lost his father. So... yeah, Christian's going to go after the new young wrestler whose father was a pro wrestler who passed away. We saw this coming, yeah. Christian proclaimed that Nick Wayne's father, who was deceased, was a less talented wrestler who couldn't be a world champion. Ah, man, this is getting harsh. However, his feud with Darby was far from over, so the young star challenged Christian for the TNT Championship at AEW Wrestle Dream. It was a fun match, and Christian managed to retain his title, and that's because Darby's friend Nick Wayne turned on him to join Christian. You know, the guy that insulted his dead father became his new quote-unquote father. Yeah, this could have been the highlight of the night, but people remember the night for one thing and one thing only. You think you know me? You think you know me? Yes, to the sounds of Alter Bridge's Metalingus and Sting at ringside, Edge came back. That's right, Edge, Adam Copeland now in AEW, jumped ship and was gonna have a final, just fun hug it out with Christian. Oh, but it wasn't going to go that way. No, we were finally going to get these two feuding in a way we hadn't seen before. Upon seeing his friend, Christian was truly shocked in that post-match scene. He didn't expect Adam Copeland of all people to show up, and Copeland stopped him from attacking Sting and wanted to talk some sense into him. Copeland, I gotta get used to saying that, on the October 4th edition of AEW Dynamite called for a truce with Christian, wanting to rekindle their friendship by finishing their careers together. Aw, that feels good. Christian came out and embraced his friend with a big bear hug, holding him close but still having the microphone near his mouth to say the shocking phrase, "Go f*** yourself." At first, Adam Copeland couldn't believe why Christian was acting this way and claimed that Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne would turn on him at some point. Christian did not take those words kindly and said that he was not their leader, but their father. Yeah, that's what a father does, right? He then went off on Copeland and basically accused him of wanting a reunion only because Christian was more popular now. In the meantime, he was humiliating Nick Wayne's mother, Shayna Wayne, and mocked her for being a waitress, and even Nick Wayne disowned his own mom to join his new quote-unquote father. Yeah, this is some soap opera stuff. Christian and Adam started the rivalry between two friends, with Adam challenging him for the TNT Championship. Christian did not want to face Copeland, so he tried to manipulate him with kind words, but Adam was too smart for that game and gave him an answer with his own words, saying simply, "Go f*** yourself." Leading up to the match, Adam attacked Nick Wayne in front of his own mom. Luchasaurus got involved. However, during the match, the confrontation, Nick Wayne's mother came out and attacked Adam with a steel chair, giving Christian the victory. Yeah, the same mom who was insulted by Christian. A few weeks later, she explained her actions by saying that Adam tried to end her son Nick Wayne's career, so she had to protect him, motherly instinct. Christian then called out Adam for even thinking about attacking Nick, as he also grew up with a single mother like Nick. That's right, he's going after moms too. He then claimed that not only did he score the biggest win by defeating Adam, but he scored in another way that night with a leering look over at Shayna Wayne. Oh boy, yeah, nobody is on his level when it comes to promos in AEW right now. We all know at some point that they're going to come together and be a great tag team for one last run, but Christian is really enjoying what he's doing right now. He is doing phenomenal work as the TNT champion, and it is truly one of the best non-main event performers in all of professional wrestling right now. But hasn't he earned a world title run at this point? At least as a character, it seems like he can manipulate his way into that. But AEW needs to learn that the art of striking when the iron is hot is an art that they can really perfect right now with Christian. And now is the perfect time to maybe go with him as the top guy, or at least think about it within 2024. There's not much time left, and you gotta use the time when you have it, right? Christian versus Adam Copeland is certainly some interesting stuff. What are some of your favorite lines from Christian on the microphone? Let us know in the comments below.